So let's talk about portable enums. So enums are used for declaring the valid values of certain data types, right? I mean, we already are familiar with many enums that we use day in and day out. We just don't think of them as they were enumerated data types because it's so common, right? For instance, integers are an enumerated data type, right? They go from minus infinity all the way to plus infinity, right? But they're all the whole numbers, right? They don't include all the infinities that are between 1 and 2. There's an infinite number of numbers between 1 and 2, which are not included in the parent infinity set of all the whole numbers, right? All the integers. Make sense? So they are enumerated data types. So zeros is in that valid value, right? 1, 2, 3, all the way up to plus infinity. So that's the one enumerated data type. It's a very common enumerated data type. But you can create your own enumerated data type, right? Out of blue. So many databases allow you to do that using the enum keyword, right? MySQL allows you to do this. You say the value name, I mean the column name, the field name can only have these values. These are only the valid values that can be put in there. If you try to insert anything that doesn't have these values, the database is going to complain. It's going to throw an exception. So the name can be small, medium, and large. Okay. But not all databases support this feature. Okay. So we should try to stay away from features that are specific to a particular vendor, right? And make sure that we can always migrate easily as much as possible. Migrate from one vendor to another vendor, right? And so we're going to look at another way of implementing this. Okay, the other problem with this is that if we ever want to add a different value for this enumeration, we have to come and modify this table, right? Change the create statement and have to modify it. We can't on the fly add another value in there. Okay, you have to go in the database and alter, right? And so that's very cumbersome. So instead, let's look at another way of implementing it. So instead, what we can do is create a table, right? That's going to list all the valid values for a field for some other table. So say you have the movies, right? And the movies has the rating, the director, the plot, blah blah blah. One of the things in there is the genre. The genre should be a enumerated data type. Yes, if you implement it using the MySQL, you could say genre enumerated data type, horror, comedy, yada yada yada, right? But again, we don't want to do it that way. Instead, what we'll do is that we'll create a separate table called genre that's going to allow me to store all the genres in there, right? Comedy, drama, horror, and whatnot. Okay, and that's a primary key, meaning it's unique. And now what I'm going to do is that the movie table that wants to have the genre field, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a foreign key. And the foreign key is going to reference this genre table, meaning that foreign key can only ever have values from this table. It would be wrong for that foreign key to have any other value, right? It can only possibly come from this genre table, okay? So there it is. So we have the genre having the values, and then you have the movie declaring a field, right? That is a foreign key that references the genre name. So this foreign key can only possibly ever have values that live in that table. Now not only is this portable, I can move this around. I can implement this in any vendor, right? Any relational database, but it's also updatable. I can easily update this, right? It could be a user interface. I can just insert a new object, right? I can just insert a new record. I can remove it. I can use it even to list maybe a drop down, right? I could use it to render my genres, right? Where you might have a value plus maybe a title or something, a label that could be displayed for human consumption. So much better to use this implementation. Right. So and now in UML, this is how you would capture it. Right. You would have the movie as a regular class, right, and have the field genre, and the type of that genre. Notice that it's equal to this to this other data type, a brand new data type that I just created called genre, which is implemented over here. This one even though it uses the same box, right, and it looks like a class, so this is certainly a class, but this one looks like a class, but it's not a class, right? This comedy, drama, horror, those are not fields, right? Whereas genre is a field, right? Comedy, drama, and horror are not fields. Right? Instead, notice that on top of the genre, we have enumeration there, right, with these funny-looking pointy brackets, right? That's a stereotype saying, do not interpret this as a class. Right? This is not a class. It's an enumeration. You should interpret this logically as an enumeration. So the values in here, right, are not fields, right? Instead, these are the valid values in the enumeration. Make sense?